Hey, what's up? I'm Jason Mraz, and you're watching Talking Tech.
We brought Talking Your Tech live to the NAMM show, where we met up with singer-songwriter Jason Mraz on the Taylor Guitar stage. He told us he owed his career to his online fan base.
And my whole career began because I was always putting my music on the internet, available for people to share. And by the time I did my first tour, I had an audience everywhere I went because they had already been listening for months or years online.
I don't know if the people out there really comprehend how huge your online following is. I mean, just YouTube alone, it's almost 400 million views.
Wow.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure when you were starting, you'd say, wouldn't it be like amazing if one day I put out a record and it sold 1 million copies?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what does having that kind of massive following do for you at this point? Do you get 400 million people come to the show?
Sometimes it feels like that, yeah. But it definitely gives us a sense of community everywhere we go. You know, whether I'm in an airport or I'm actually at the venue, I meet people every single day that have heard the music and have incorporated it into their lives somehow, whether it's at their wedding or, you know, it was a song of friendship. And I like that. It feels like I have a tribe, you know, all around the world that, you know, I can feel at home everywhere I go.
So when you started, where were you posting the music? Was it YouTube or was it more than that?
When I first started, YouTube wasn't available. I had jasonmraz.com, and you could email me directly, and I would send you a CD. That was my version of music on the internet, you know. And then I believe it was MySpace that came up, where I was like, oh, I can just upload these songs immediately after the shows. And I uploaded a version of I'm Yours, actually, which was just a demo. And it took off through MySpace. People would download it or copy it from MySpace. And it became a huge hit before I'd ever even considered putting it on an album.
And I believe I've heard you in other interviews saying that based on that response, that's when you knew there was a song there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I had a gig in Borlänge, Sweden, which was kind of northern Sweden, which is not easy to get to. And I thought, all right, I'll go to this gig and introduce myself. It'll be fun. And there were thousands of people there, and they were singing along. And when I broke into I'm Yours, which hadn't been released yet, more people flooded onto the streets, and it was as if I was singing the Swedish national anthem. They were all arm in arm singing I'm Yours, and we all looked at each other stunned and said, we got to record this song and maybe give it a birthday, put it on the next album. Yeah.
Have you experienced anything like that since?
Not as big as I'm Yours, but you know, before I put out my last record, I had the pleasure of touring around all different size venues, from house concerts to the Sydney Opera House. And I got to play I Won't Give Up and 93 Million Miles and a lot of songs off that album that just came out. And by the end of the tour, similarly, the audiences were singing them. And the songs hadn't been released yet. They were just still in test mode. But I can use, you know, the internet and sharing through YouTube, for example, these live performances to get some feedback. And when I go to a show 3 days later, if that audience is singing along or requesting it, I know that it's connecting.
There's one song, I believe it's called The Woman I Love, that was inspired by tweets.
Well, the video was it was inspired by tweets, yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, we wanted, I loathe making music videos. I don't like to act or lip sync. It's just, I feel weird. And so on this particular video, we asked our fans to just say, what does The Woman I Love mean to you? And tweet it to us. And then we created a video using all of their concepts, and we inlaid them into the actual footage. So that they could see the exact scene, like running backwards through a hallway. They could see that the fan had actually created this moment for us.
So how did you like that experience?
I loved it. Yeah, it made it less about me, you know. And you know, the new album I'm working on is a collaboration with 4 women. It's less about me, and that's what I love about music, is when I can connect with others and bring this thing to life. I recently heard that cells don't know what to do until they connect and communicate with another cell. And then they understand what their role is. They're like, oh, okay, I know what to do now. And I think an artist is the same way, or a musician is the same way. It's like, okay, I can play this at home and I might be able to connect with the instrument. But if I can connect with another human being on this, it gives the song an entirely new meaning, gives it new life. I'm yours.
Jason Mraz, everybody.